It's Wednesday the 25th of April. I arrived yesterday in Caboolture, Queensland from Hong Kong. It's a beautiful sunny day, and I'm happy to be back in this remarkable country where, in times past, my countrymen were sent for misbehaving. I'm about to have lunch with my good friends Hank and his wife Maleny, who've raised the cash to take me by selling custard apples, limes, and bananas. Hank and Maleny are originally from Holland, so we'll actually go Dutch for lunch, if you see what I mean. I've not seen them for 11 years, so it's indeed a happy occasion. The destination is Bribie Island, but we'll first eat at the renowned Sandstone Point Hotel overlooking the island. Very nice. That's the bridge to Bribie over there. I forgot to film the food, but it was excellent. I then decided to fly the drone. Now, I later was told that I'm not allowed to fly a drone here, but there were no signs informing me, and unfortunately, I'd already flown it. I quickly apologized, as I'd heard that people found misbehaving were sent back to England. Justice has come full circle. In the meantime, I enjoyed the view. That's Bribie Island over there, that in recent times has become a sought-after retirement destination. I love shadow shots with the drone. We can get some interesting angles. That's me down there showing some kids the drone's eye view. Bribie Island in the distance. I then showed them the asteroid view, where we get to see exactly where we are on the planet. We then went over the bridge to Bribie Island. The weather is beautiful at this time of the year, though the days are short. Sunset is at 5:15. On the beach at Bribie Island, I was able to get a drone's eye view of things. I can fly. Oh, for the wings of a dove. That's Hank and me down there. And Australia's best kept secret in the distance. So we sit and enjoy a beautiful evening in a beautiful place and try to catch up on what's been happening the last 11 years or so, as we watch the sun go down, and Maleny views it from the car. And we determined that we ought not to leave it another 11 years before I visit again. The sun always seems to set so quickly. When I was here 11 years ago, we had a trip out to Mooloolaba that I'll never forget. This time Jed and Stuart kindly asked me if I'd like to visit again. So we set off north up the coast on another beautiful day, and after about half an hour we arrived in this magical place. Last time in Oz, Stuart and Sarah were my hosts. This time, Jed and Debbie, and I have to say that Australian hospitality is second to none. I even made a word up for it. Hospitality. A delightful waitress enticed us to have a snack and a coffee here. So is this a good place?
Yeah, it's wonderful. Eating at the best restaurant in Mooloolaba. So, yeah. Oh my god.
It was good too.
The Oz BLT. This is really good, just sitting here having a coffee, a sandwich, and overlooking the ocean out there. Wonderful experience. Well, the whales were not there today, but I got a whale here.
That's actually my Bluetooth mic. Seriously, the people here are great. They surely add to the experience. So welcome to the Sunshine Coast and the enchanting town of Mooloolaba.
Well, it's good to be here with Paul.
Yeah.
We found out he's bilingual. He speaks all sorts of languages.
Actually, I'm trilingual. I try to speak all sorts of languages. Just look at that view. These views go on for another 1,000 miles. It's just outside the tropics, and the weather is great all the year round. Here the view is looking south back toward Brisbane, 60 miles away. Though it's not visible, Brisbane is a little to the right of this shot. The seafront is full of shops, cafes, and restaurants. Stuart wanted a good spade, but it was too short to lean on.
That's no bull.
Yeah, but you can't lean on it.
Too short.
Yeah. We're in Deja Vu, a beautiful restaurant, right on the side of the sea here, and we're gonna have an Australian steak.
It not only looked delicious, it tasted delicious. We all had one. I couldn't help feeling I'd been here before, though. There are usually whales or dolphins playing in the coral sea here, but alas, it was their day off. We did see the chicken crossing the road, however. Don't ask me why. It was another memorable visit. This place is really a Lollapalooza. That's the 19th century American word, but sounds like it should be Australian. So we returned via the coast road. Moffat Beach being the first stop, bringing back childhood memories for both Jed and Stuart.
Down on low tide and tie little pieces of meat on the end of the string to drop them down and crabs and
The cliffs here are beautiful. I love being able to fly, to get new perspectives on things. Life is like that. If we only get ground zero perspectives, we'll never get what life is about. With the drone, I'm constantly saying, I never saw it that way before. I even get new ways of looking at familiar things. It also reminds me of life's challenges. Why just be satisfied with life as it is, when there's so much more? If only we realize we can fly. One of my heroes is an Aussie, Tommy Emmanuel. He's a guitarist. He plays with a passion, but the way he plays tells me he learned how to fly. Not easy. He worked on it all his life, striving to do the thing he was made for. He not only succeeded, he inspires others not to sit around doing nothing, but get on with life, giving it all you've got. He's not just a guitar player, he's an inspiration. Good on you, Tommy. Last stop, Caloundra. Another memory for all of us. The sun is about to set. The parrots are singing. We're by the sea, and fish and chips sounds perfect. So thanks, Stuart and Jed. Another great day on planet Earth.
Another day of adventure on the way to Brisbane today.
I remember the last trip to Brisbane 11 years ago, and as a result I'm eagerly anticipating this visit. My old friend Jed is my guide, and an excellent one too. Coffee is my drink of choice, so we enjoy a coffee amidst the skyscrapers in the fabled land of Oz. So what makes for a good trip? Good company? Okay, I have that. Not sure about if Jed does, but I'm doing my best. A great place to visit? I can tick that box. Good weather? 2 ticks. A language I can understand? No worries, mate. I love boats and rivers, and I remember the renowned Citycat from the last trip. So where do we board? Riverside. Off we go, doing the tourist thing with people from as far away as Wagga Wagga, who I've heard get culture shock when they visit here. There's a square building there. Wow, just one. And there's the iconic Story Bridge. Did you know it's a twin of the Jacques Cartier Bridge in Montreal, Canada? Brisbane has 283 days of sunshine a year, and winter days rarely dip below 20 degrees Celsius. The original Aboriginal name was Mianjin, which means place shaped like a spike, which probably refers to the shape of the nearby offshore islands. A river trip gives the visitor an opportunity to see a little of the city. For many locals, this is the bus service. And as we progress, Jed points out the places of interest, and we chat about everything from the price of properties to the state of Aussie cricket. Didn't see any sharks. No joke. The river is home to a large population of bull sharks. The swimming is only allowed at meal times if we agree to be put on the menu. The sharks are known to be aggressive and can grow up to 3 meters in length. All the way from Italy, a delightful family enjoying the trip with us. On a day like today, it's beautiful, and we get fascinating sights along the way. Pianoering Town. Just a small ship, 11 decks, 2,000 passengers. And much less hassle than going by plane. The Citycat only cost $5.60 Australian for 2 hours. That's US $4. The best bargain in town for the tourist.
It's a real joy to take this trip. Really enjoyable.
The look on my face says it all. We went down the river and back, stopping several times along the way. I want to live there. So back to the city centre. It's time to eat. We found a nice restaurant right on the river, overlooking the bridge. Ordered seafood and sat and watched the world go by. Reminds me of my days in New Orleans, a long time ago, when I lived in Jamaica. After eating, Jed wanted to take me to a place where drones were allowed. But unfortunately the bridge was closed, so we diverted to a nearby shore so that we could get the bird's eye view of the city. The shots were great. I actually wanted to send it over the bridge, but guess what? At this very moment, it started to rain. The rain can actually be seen coming in. so I hurriedly brought it home. Looking back on the day, we had had another great day in the land of Oz. Next time, a visit to the Glasshouse Mountains, where nobody throws stones. Australia is a beautiful country, and my visit today is to take in some of its pastoral magnificence. As I briefly survey the Glasshouse Mountains, a group of 13 hills that rise from the coastal plain of the Sunshine Coast. My good friend Jed is my tour guide today, this being a radical change from our Brisbane experience. It's a sunny day, but this is the Sunshine Coast. Mount Me is a mountain and a town, and we're heading for the lookout to send up the drone.
We're actually on Mount Me, and behind me the Glasshouse Mountains. On a beautiful day, temperature about 23, 24, just wonderful.
In the center of this shot is Mount Tibrogargan, beyond the seaside town of Mooloolaba that we visited earlier. The highest hill, Mount Biawak, is 556 meters. That's 1,800 feet. Tibrogargan, in the center here, only 1,200 feet. The names for the hills themselves are very old, but the term Glasshouse Mountains was coined by explorer Captain James Cook on the 17th of May, 1770. The peaks reminded him of the glass furnaces in his home county of Yorkshire, the most beautiful county in England. The range is volcanic, and the peaks are culturally significant to the traditional owners, the Gubbi Gubbi people, who consider the mountains as members of a family, with the father being Mount Tibrogargan and the mother Mount Biawak. The other hills represent the children, and all have intriguing stories associated with them. As a result, the Glasshouse Mountains are designated as a sacred site for the Gubbi Gubbi people. I thoroughly enjoyed this brief interlude in Gubbi Gubbi land. Another small part of my great Australian experience. After my short trip with Jed, I was raving about the beauty of the Glasshouse mountain scenery to some other friends, Joshua and Krupa, and they invited me to have lunch with them in their favorite mountain restaurant in nearby Montville. I'm with Oscar Wilde on that one. I can resist anything but temptation. Josh told me to get the drone ready, or we would have a spectacular stop on the way. So we set out for another visit to paradise. The views from Mount Me over the plain are indeed beautiful. After enjoying views of the Glasshouse Mountains, we arrived at Josh's special destination, the Maleny Botanical Gardens, a location which not only had beautiful flora, but amazing birds too. This is Coco.
Hello. 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 Hello.
I've never been anywhere that has anywhere near as many spectacular birds as here. The birds you see are wild. They're not tethered. They're free to roam. They also talk with an Oz accent. We then met Frank, an amazing gentleman who will certainly make your visit worthwhile.
This is Coco. She's not even 5 years old. She's got another 50 years to go. She's probably the most talented bird in Australia. She sings opera, she sings O MacDonald, and copies many, many sounds. She can almost interact with you. She knows when to say goodbye, when to say hello, and she can even wave with her wings, like we do with our hand. She does it that way. She's so intelligent, she's taken the opera voice and sings O MacDonald with the opera voice as well sometimes. She just gets bored. So I've had birds for nearly 60 years. This by far is the most talented. And she's got a long way to go. Still learning all the time. So you can imagine what she'll be like in 5 years' time.
Frank then gave us a really fun experience. He decorated us with colourful birds. Joshua first. Grouper, no less adventurous.
As long as he's already done his business.
I was afraid that birds might decorate me. This is another wow moment.
That's beautiful.
Will he give me a kiss or will he bite my lip?
No, I'll give you a kiss.
He then played us a recording of Coco singing. Thank you, Frank. That was special. Now for a bird's eye view of the gardens. The views are amazing. The gardens beautiful. In the distance, there was actually a bushfire near Mount Biawak. The sign says an unforgettable experience, and it's right on. Wonderful place to visit. On to Montville. A quick look at the shops. Then time to eat with a spectacular view. Great views over the Sunshine Coast. Then the food came. Grouper had salmon, Josh a hamburger, and I had New Zealand lamb. Joking. My Oz drink of choice is the lime, lemon and bitters, followed by a flat white coffee. And another walk around the shops. Fantastic day out. But more was to come. The Glasshouse Mountains rise from the lush flat plain, green as far as the eye can see. The sun paints shadows through the white, billowy clouds. Looking at the plain from inland is an awesome sight. Here creation sings a happy song. I'm traveling through Mount Mee State Forest, in the shadow of Mount Delaney, visiting my friends Ian and his wife Irene in their delightful mountain home. This is special. The road is steep, 33% incline. And there is their home, amidst nature. And here is the view. My response to this sight is to enjoy a cup of coffee and sit and gaze a while. Here where sea eagles soar. But today, the drone shows us things we didn't see before. What a beautiful setting their home has. Even the kitchen window has a spectacular view. I love being in the midst of nature. It even beats being in the midst of history. They even have a pool and a sauna. The kitchen is the size of a Hong Kong apartment. Not only that, but they do bed and breakfast. Traveling through the Sunshine Coast, stop off for a rare treat. True hospitality here, and great coffee. This is a 2-bedroomed apartment that's available for B&B. That is just about everything. even a dishwasher. Same views. Two bedrooms, dining room, lounge. And the settee in the lounge converts to a queen-sized bed. They also have a downstairs studio room with kitchen and bathroom. Same view. I just couldn't resist getting the asteroid view. So we continue the journey. I'm on my way to visit some other friends in Brisbane. Friends from the old country. Ian is making my journey thoroughly enjoyable. First we pass through Woodford. Travelling these roads is a pleasure. Seeing another car is an occasion. We're actually travelling down the Brisbane River Valley as it winds its way to the sea. Next place, another beautiful town near Mount Stanley. Next stop, Somerset Dam, which is right on the edge of the Deer Reserve National Park. Lake Wivenhoe here was created by damming the Brisbane River in two places, the Somerset Dam and the Wivenhoe Dam. This is a pied cormorant looking for lunch. The dark clouds and the sunshine creating some interesting shots. When we stopped off to get a shot, I encountered a very colourful plant, but have no idea what it is. It looks like a large, hairy gooseberry. We stopped off at Somerset Dam, good place for a walk, even a picnic. The Brisbane River has its source in the nearby mountains. The river flows from here down to Brisbane. It's an important source of water for the city. Then we continued the journey, passing through Esk. For me, the journey was fascinating. Ian and I able to chat, but at the same time, he was an excellent guide. Fascinating towns and beautiful scenery made for a very enjoyable trip. We were soon at Wivenhoe Lake and Dam. The dam is also a source of hydroelectric power. After a look around, we continued, actually driving on top of the dam. Then Fernvale. Should have stopped for a coffee. On arriving at my destination to stay with John and Elsie, I enjoyed another ornithological treat. Minor birds in the garden, and the colourful blue-faced honey-eaters that were soon joined by the butcher birds. Certainly colourful. Even Mr. Crow showed up. We had an enjoyable evening. Time to go home. It's been a fantastic time. Brisbane Airport is great. So one last coffee. Great airline, great day. The last thing Jed said to me was, "Can you come again next year?" What can I say? No worries, mate. I'll be back.